new Chief Justice and the Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of the United States. Oyez, oyez, oyez. All persons having business before the Honorable, the Supreme Court of the United States, are admonished to draw near and give their attention, for the court is now sitting. God save the United States and this honorable court.
Mr. Chief Justice, and may it please the court. Until my client, Mr. Nathaniel Leahy, was 9 years old, it was illegal for him to sit at a white-only counter. That changed when Brown v. Board of Education ended segregation. Until he was 18, he had no right to free legal counsel. Gideon v. Wainwright ended that. At 20, Miranda v. Arizona stopped the police from being able to arrest him without informing him of his right to an attorney. With each of these landmark decisions, this court helped Mr. Leahy get closer to the equality that our Constitution promises every citizen in this country. But he's still not there. He's still not equal. Instead, he's the victim of a broken system.
A victim?
Yes, victim, Your Honor, of repeated instances of Sixth Amendment violations.
Your client is a confessed murderer, Miss Keating.
Justice Strickland, my client was never informed of his right to appeal the sentence after his first conviction. That's how ineffective his counsel was.
This is a version of the story coming from him.
Every one of the 15 public defenders that he has had represent him told him to plead guilty.
You're saying that he was not guilty of any of these crimes?
Thank you.
Without properly funded counsel, he received sentences longer than the average man. And these years in prison included solitary confinement, which resulted in mental health issues that led to the tragic events of this murder.
But you just said that your client was the victim.
The victim of underfunded public defense system.
Don't interrupt me. This is Gerald Reinhoff, the man that your client beat to death in cold blood.
We are not here to try a murder, but to understand the events that led up to this murder.
But of all the plaintiffs that you could have brought us, you're asking us to feel for a killer.
A man the system made into a killer.
I said don't interrupt. Now, what is apparent to me and to several of my fellow justices...
Let's not speak for the rest of us.
...is that this is a money issue, one that the legislature of Pennsylvania can decide.
Except this case is not only about money, Your Honor. It's about race.
You are arguing that your plaintiffs are getting ineffective counsel because of poor funding or because of their race. Which is it?
Both.
But not all of your plaintiffs are people of color.
My sample of plaintiffs matches the racial breakdown of incarceration. 40% of my plaintiffs are black, 20% are Latino.
If you want us to consider race here, it would have to be the determining factor.
It's one of many factors.
But is it the determining factor? Either it is or it isn't.
Yes. Race is the determining factor.
You did not file this class action on the grounds of discrimination, so we cannot consider race in our decision.
I disagree. This bench must consider the validity of Ms. Keating's equal protection argument.
The impact of a ruling based on race would have adverse procedural
That was the argument in Brown v. Board.
Segregation was designed to discriminate. Can't say the same.
Don't lose a second of your 30 minutes. Every word matters.
The court decided the effects of racism were so traumatizing.
Let me say this again. Race is not a variable in this case.
Your Honor, I'd like to use the remainder of my time to prepare my rebuttal.